So welcome to English Lovers by Honeydee. So I'm back after quite a long time. Uh, and as the topic or the title of the live session already suggested that the questions will be related to the topic of the name. Here you can see that like the first topic that I'm picking it up, like it is in the speaking part one of your IELTS exam. So what we are going to focus on is like what are the common questions that are possible to be asked in the part one of the speaking exam. We're going to deal with them, and then we are going to look at what are the possible answers and what are the possible ways by which we can reply all of them, or what are the possible simplest of the answers that we can go for replying naturally. Most probably, when we answer questions, I used to emphasis on the natural tone that we have, and the pauses must be natural one. There must not be erraticness in your tone, or there must not be any sort of erraticness as far as your like questions questions answers hierarchy is concerned as well. Like you should be confirmed about it, what you're speaking, and you should be into the question and you should enjoy answering the question first of all. So just wait for a while. Let me just share the same thing with the rest of the students as well, so that they can also join in case if they would like to. So just a minute. Mm, 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 mm. Just a minute. So let me just add the link. Mm, 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 mm. Let me log it in once more. Then we will start with the topic, main topic. Logging in yet, so that I can have my chats over there itself. I'm coming back to the topic. So the first question, very interesting one. Who gave you your name and all? Who gave you a name? Like that is already a suggested question within the book that I am trying to use for making it understood. The first thing that comes to play, like is the tense of the question. As I mentioned before, in many of the sessions and even in my offline classes, my students have already asked me that what do we see in like as far as the first thing is concerned, the first thing that we see in the question is in which tense particularly the question is asked, and what are the indicators, what are the like initiating words, or what we say the starting words of particular questions are. Like here, who gave you your name? So from that itself it indicates that you have to talk about the person who gave you your name. So how that person has authority to give you the name, and how that person is so close to you that he has been given the right to give you your name. That would be there in the answer itself. Like even like if you're talking about your mother or your father or any one of your parents or any one of your grandparents, in this answer, or even anybody like who is so close to you and your family, like they gave the right to that particular person to answer, like give the name to you. Or naming somebody used to be um, like quite a tricky task sometimes, or quite what we say interesting sometimes. And some of the religions, or in some of the like communities in India, particularly if we talk about India, the naming is done in a different way. But if we go on to the level of the global system, like the names are kept accordingly, that like how dear the name is. And if we talk about Indian community, then um, religious connotations are being used to, you know, use the name for a certain person, or to keep the name for the certain person. Um, then obviously, who gave you your name can be answered in that tone. And then the second question that is there is, does your name have any particular meaning? So here, like I told you, in Hindu religion or in any other religion like Sikhism or Sikh religion, or depends upon the religion to religion, that the people keep the name and they give the specific meaning to that one. For example, if I take the name of Aradhya, my daughter, so that name was kept after the name of goddess Durga. So Hindu people, they keep the name accordingly. That same way, if it applies to the Sikh religion, like for example, if the name is uh, like Jappreet, or we say that Harpreet, or something like that. Like usually the names are kept like that. So then Harpreet is also connoted, like is related particularly to the Almighty God. So there used to be some connotation, or there is a particular kind of story you can relate to also when you're giving the meaning to that particular name, or any specific incident you can relate to also when you are giving the answer. But these first part questions used to be very small answers, like not that lengthy answers, to the point, and replies used to be very swift one. So not that much of the time you will get to actually explain about the things or something, but simply you have to be quite natural. Your tone has to be quite like with the intonation, with the rise and the fall, the pitch of your sound has to be there within that. Okay. And do you like your name? Obviously, here we are clear about it, whether I like my name or not. You have to actually, like, you have to depict it accordingly yourself, and whether you like your name or not. If you don't like your name, then you should have the reason. And if you like your name, you should also again have the reason. So always remember another thing, like after the tense, the second thing that is very much important that you should remember in the mind, like you should always keep in the mind, is that like there is always a why after your question. Just consider it yourself whenever you're trying to answer the question in the speaking exam, that or even you're practicing with your friends or somebody. There are various ways that I have told my offline students that how do they actually answer the why. And there are different ways that why can be answered. Another thing that I told them is the practicing can be done in a different on the different platforms. Like I mentioned that there is a particular application called Ace Fluency. Okay, it can be used particularly within the nation itself. I think some of the other countries also participate into that, that is Pakistan or some nearby countries. I don't exactly know that whether other countries do take part into that, but many people I found as my friends from that particular age fluency application. So that is quite helpful in actually getting some time and talk about different topics related to anything. So the first thing is like you should be clear about the topic of discussion in that particular application. Whatever topic comes over there, if you stick to that topic, then it would be much better because you will stick to and focus on a particular category of the question, and then thereafter you would make your answers flourish properly. So now, after that one, that was just a bit of information that I wanted to give you that so that you can improve yourself. So, Ace Friends, I'll keep on giving you the information related to that as well. Now, let's move on to the next one. That is, does your name have any particular meaning? I told you that how to like what is to be answered in that. Do you like your name? Then why you like your name? If you really like the the kind of sound of the name, or whether you like the meaning of the name, or you like it just because your family has given it to you, or you have some sort of story related to that, and that's why you like it. So you can explain in any way, because speaking test is all about like how you're using the English sentences and how you are actually making them making them utilized in your answer. Alongside, they also try to see whether you're able to use any kind of idioms or the phrases within the answers in a very swift way. Like it should become the piece of cake for you. For example, piece of cake for you would also be it's also one of the idiom or one of the kind of combination of the words that we use to express something which is very easy to be done. So piece of cake will be there. So in that scenario, if we go into the details of that one, we'll discuss about that topic a later day, some other day. Now, next question is like in your country, do people feel that their name is very important? Like it depends upon context to context, it depends upon culture to culture, and also depends upon the continents and the countries or whichever places that you live in. You're from Asia, you're from whichever places, then you would be able to actually grasp the answer only when you know that like where you live. Okay, if you live in India, then definitely you have to actually be um, ready with your answer depending upon like in which province you live, in which state you live. So you will be able to answer the question in a very adaptive way. So, do people feel their name is very important? If you think that the people in your country feel that their name is very important, then you can give the answer accordingly. That, and if they do not feel that it is very important, that the name, like some people use their philosophy when giving the answer of such question, like they say that no, the names are being made, names are being, these can be created later on in life. Your work actually depicts that whether your name is there or not those names which are given there in the beginning, just to actually call you by some name. And those names are not that important. Those names that you make on yourself, that is a philosophy. So it depends upon person. But the one thing that they will be checking you on the basis of is your fluency, your like the way you answer that one. I mentioned the four basic core skills. We will discuss on that topic as well. Like what are those four things that actually speaking depends upon. Pronunciation is very important into that. Like if you look into grammar, your lexical resource is also important to that. The grammar is also, it also plays a pivotal role. It plays a crucial role in actually framing your answers. So then thereafter, lots of things are there. So would you like to change your name? Obviously, if you dislike your name, then you would be trying to, or you would be thinking to change your name. You know, and never try to find any kind of out of the box kind of word. Okay, because if you are restricting yourself to a certain horizon where you have to choose some word from that particular corner, then you won't be able to actually come to the particular point like you will be speaking naturally. Okay, firstly, start with with your own fluency. Whichever word is suitable to you, just go with that one. And with the passage of time, like you would be very much fluent with that. Then keep on going with the new words. There is no issue with that. Keep trying. Just keep grading yourself on the basis of that one. Write about those words which are used wrongly. Write about those words which are used rightly by you. So it all depends upon your everyday practice. If you're doing your practice really good, then definitely you won't feel it hard to actually express yourself in English in any way possible. Okay, then comes your sixth question. Is it easy to change your name in your country? Obviously, it is not that easy task to change your name, because if once your name is changed, there are lots of things are there that will come into place. Like first thing is that obviously if you have made a passport, then your name has to be changed in that. If you have an Aadhaar card, like your name has to be changed in that, then it will be quite a time consuming process. It will be it won't be cost effective, let me tell you, because there are lots of things that you have to handle. Then if all the things are to be taken care of, then definitely it is not that easy task to be done. So it's much better. I would prefer that I should not change my name in any way possible. Even in case somebody will tell me that by changing the name, something else will come, like the money also being offered to change your name, and alongside, like I won't be getting, hassle into the time consumption, then definitely I would be going for that. But as far as my point of view is concerned, I think one should keep the same name. Name must not be changed. Obviously, those are being delegated to you by your family members or somebody who's quite dear to you, having some emotions attached to that. So kindly just go with that. So that's up to you. That's my preference. That's my point of view. Your point of view can be different from me. Definitely, I know that people will have a different point of view. So, who usually name babies in your country? So, particularly, who used to keep the names of the babies like when they're very small? Then definitely, obviously, they like parents, grandparents, um, my great grandparents. So, whomsoever, like they can keep the name like from the maternal side or the paternal side, anyone can keep the name. So how who usually used to do that? Usually, so the questions, they have their indication that like what exactly has been asked. Usually, one of the word, it's an adverb which actually clarifies that how frequently something is done, like how frequently, who does that frequently, like a grandparent or the parent, or simply like some relatives, which relatives usually used to do. So that is the question here, and the answer is to be very very common one. Like it should not be like you're trying. I told you that out of the box kind of things doesn't work like always. So mm, like if you really want to actually answer naturally, then speak in your natural tone in the simple way, the way your words come out of your mouth faster, or we say not that faster. I would say I would recommend that clearly. Like your words must not be actually what we say punched in your teeth. Okay, punched in your teeth means like they should not be like completion of. Do justice with your words. Whenever you speak, speak them properly. It should not be like one word is going after the other, and they are just pushing each other. Okay, one is pushing, one is pulling, and it should not be like that. It should have smoothness into that. Okay, the butter flow has to be there within it. Okay. Do you have any special traditions about naming children? So, if there is any tradition, if there is any custom or the relics that you follow, then you have to mention into that. And then the last question that is there, what names are most common in your hometown? So what are the common names which are given to the kids or the or like what are the like in your particular hometown? So what are the common names that have been given? So these were the most common questions that have been asked in the IELTS exam, particularly related to the name, and these are the what we say the answers given to that. Okay, my parents gave me my name, my father to be very exact. So the kind of combinations that we're using of the sentences, like you see, depends upon the question. You know, the question was in the past, the answer was given in the past. So question and answer has to have the correlated tense. Okay, the same tense. That means that whatever tense is there in the question, what the same tense has to be there in the same tense has to be there in the answer. So to be exact, my father to be exact, like it's quite natural to say that. Okay, my like you need not to say that my parents gave me my name and my father uh gave it to me. Don't say that. My father to be very exact, to be very concise, like my father gave me the name. So then lots of things are there which you can answer accordingly. The basic thing that you should keep in your mind is the tense of the question. Okay. And the topic, definitely the topic has to be in the mind. Okay, and then remember that the same tense has to be there in the answer, and start with some sort of what we say the phrases which would be your starting phrases, and usually they used to be adverbials or adverbs we add up in the beginning and then we start our answers. Okay, and that answer has to have a supporting ideas. Let me tell you, whenever you give your answer, for example this one, I quite like my name and I won't change my name in the world, it for the world, because it is. Now you see, this is because the word because actually is an indication for the supporting ideas. Okay, so because it don't I don't think actually, sorry, what is that? Mm, it is because it is unique. So first supporting ideas because it is unique, and I don't think that anyone else in China. So the book is of China, definitely. I don't think that anyone else in China has the same name. So definitely because of the individuality or having a different name from rest of the people and rest of the mob, if you are sparkling, if you are startling, if you are shining, like totally different from the rest of the mob, then definitely you would like your name to be kept as same. You don't want it to be changed for the sake of the people or for anybody. So there are different ways that the people can answer, but basically I have told you that like how to answer the question. Now, what I want to tell you is like basically, for example, the question is asked, "What is your full name?" Usually, okay, full name. I will come to the topic. What is your full name? So here, that's a basic question first of all, and it would be definitely asked obviously in the beginning of the speaking test, and you have to simply state your full name clearly and confidently. Nothing else at all. Okay, so you need not to say anything extravagant into that. So don't add supporting ideas into that. Simply give your full name clearly and confidently. That means your eyes must be, you know, what we say, your eyes must be having that confidence that you are going to look into the eyes of the examiner. Now, never worry about like what those people are. They are also human beings. Um, so if there is a tag called examiner attached to them, that doesn't mean that they are going to harass you in any sense. Or that's not the same criteria that we see in most of the schools. Or even now that trend has been changed as well. Now all are very friendly. So same thing is there in the case of your IELTS examiner as well. Your IELTS examiner is not your enemy. The IELTS examiner is your facilitator, and the person is going to facilitate you, help you out in actually getting the your attention away and getting onto the track of answering the questions. faster and swiftly. Okay. Now, the another question that is there, uh, which is actually very important, I think, is do you have a nickname? Do you have a nickname? Okay. Do you have a nickname? Okay. We know that what are our nicknames. My nickname is Honey. Okay. What is it? Okay. Now, first of all, I have in my mind like what is the tense of the question? Tense of the question is the present tense. Okay. And what is it? Then obviously the name has also to be in the same tense particularly. So here, if you have a nickname, state it clearly and explain the origin of it and the meaning behind it in case. Okay. So what you have to do in such a scenario, so you can actually name it, and then you can actually um, explain the origin, explain the like main origin from where it is originated, from where it started. Okay, who gave you that thing? Okay, who gave you that? Who kept that name? Like why that name is kept? Like most of the time there are the sweet stories added to that, particularly when we are keeping the nickname. Okay, or meaning behind it. Like what is the meaning behind it? In case if I talk about myself, honey has a different connotation in different world. Honey in our case used to be the person who is very sweet, but somehow, as far as the people's views concerned about me, uh, I'm not even. I would say that minus percentage. Okay, like not a very bitter one. Honey is sweet when tasted, but the real honey is very bitter when tasted. So let me tell you that I'm just kidding. So here you have to answer the origin and the meaning behind your answer. And if you don't have a nickname, you can simply say that you don't have the one. So it's not nothing to be worried about. I do have a nickname. You will try to create the nickname at that time. It's not possible, for you to actually do that. If you will try to do that, it will be just a wastage of time, and even you would do some mistake, a big mistake in that case, you know, if you would try to do that. So the another thing that actually was the first question in this particular um, file, that was who gave you your name. As I actually mentioned before as well, and I would actually mention that like here you have to talk about the person who gave you your name, or the people who gave you your name, particularly when it comes to giving the name. The parents and the grandparents are the one who are the closest one who give the name. Okay, you can also explain the reason behind your name if there is one, why they have kept the name, why your parents have kept the name, why your grandparents have kept that name particularly for you, so that you can actually explain about in that particular case. So till now, what I see is like we have covered up most of the questions related to that particular topic name, but I would continue with that. Don't worry about it. Like, I would like to first of all actually go for some sharing thing. If I can share the live session, if I can do that. Let me see that whether I can do it or not. Mm-hmm. Let me copy that. Okay. Now we have done that there. And another way is I think in the status I can put. Mm-hmm. Kindly share it in your own communities. I haven't created any community. So first of all, what they have to do is well, to be honest, I would like to go here from here just a minute so that I can share it some other way. Mhm. There would be around 2,000 people right at the moment if they will see that. Rest is uh, rest is up to them. Mhm. And then thereafter, let me just share it with Canadian people as well. And see if they would see. They can also join that. Yeah. And now we can actually continue the session. There's no issue with that. Then there are different things that as I was mentioning, the who gave you your name, your parents, grandparents, and the reason behind your name, and you can also tell that how they have kept it or the reason why that particular name has been kept at time itself. Hmm. Then there is a question called: Is there any special meaning behind? Special meaning, particular meaning, special meaning behind your name. Okay. For example, this question is there. So, as a question suggests itself, like the specific meaning, if it is there, then you have to actually, explain that. If there is any specific, like particular reason or special meaning behind the name, then you can give that. Otherwise, then definitely there is nothing else you can do about it. Okay, like if your name has a special meaning, particularly when we talk about special meaning, it has to be cultural or religious significance. We talk about cultural or religious significance. Okay, if there is any religious connotation or cultural connotation related to your name, where you can explain it briefly. Briefly means to say that in a very concise way. It should not be lengthy. Okay. However, if your name doesn't have any special meaning, you can simply state that as well. Like I don't exactly know that if there is anything just related to that. But I think as far as the meaning is concerned, the basic meaning is concerned, it is quite clear, and I think fully filled with it. Like there is nothing to be added into that, or any religious connotation is not required over there. So that depends upon you and how you lengthen up your answer, or that all depends upon you. So do you like your name and why or why not? Like here you have to say very. It's a subjective question somehow. Do you like your name? Like your name? For example, it is written there. Do you like your name? Then definitely, obviously, the people will not hate the name that their parents have kept. Okay. And if they do that one, the person can be quite sarcastic one. Okay, it should not be like that. Mm, particularly when it comes to naming yourself or giving the name. You know, you should be happy with whatever name that has been given to you. Okay, so giving the name is very important, or taking the name is very important, or without the name, then nobody would recognize you who you are. So it's very important that the people misrecognize this, the importance of the questions like such, because they are the usual questions somehow, very easy questions somehow, but the people think it in a different perspective or a different way that, yeah, what special has been asked from me. So that must not be there in the mind, like when you are particularly thinking about any framing of the answer or something. Obviously, you cannot go into the feelings of like that. Even the teachers cannot go into your feelings, your preferences, but can simply predict that one possible, predictions about the human being's preferences towards, liking the name or something. Uh, so I think it's very it's very common question. Do you like your name or not? So you can simply state that, yeah, there is some correlation with this or particular incident related to the past or something, or the history of the world or history of this country. Somehow it is subjective question. If you're able to reply the reason behind why you like it or not, so that would be icing on the cake. Okay, that would be icing. Yeah, the way I use the icing on the cake. So you can use that too. Okay. Then the next question is, how important, how significant, how crucial, how cardinal is it to have a good name in your culture? hmm In your culture, like how important it is to have a good name in your culture. Yes, so here you can talk about the cultural significance again. That comes into the play into that, and particularly when we are actually using the words related to IELTS. So we have to be very careful about the use of some cultural context, and we should have more more of the vocabulary related to the actually given topic or given question. Okay, in some cultures, for example, a person's name may determine their social status. Okay, people will have or the reputation. Okay, depends upon that. So people may have their different connotations they added to that. But I believe that when you are answering such question, you have to be natural, very very simple, nothing extra added to that, no pinch of spices required over there. So make sure that one you're answering all the questions related to name. So what we discussed about is the topic of name we started with. Okay. And I'm starting my online classes for the speaking students, particularly. And if there is any requirement for the IELTS classes, then definitely, like the systems would be different for the Canadian students, and systems would be different for the Indian students. You know, the people. I mean to say that the students who are living in Canada, they will have a different, like batches system or something, like the timing would be different. And those who are actually living in India, and if they really want to have their English speaking skills flourished or improved or ameliorated, then definitely they would have to actually be ready with some odd timing. For me, it would be odd timing. For them, it would be the morning time. So basically, what I mean to say is, like, if you really want to actually get good life or quality life, then you have to actually burn some calories or burn some, what we say, fat of laziness. Okay. So lose that belly fat, which is filled with laziness, sedentary life. So just come out of the shell and just have a better shell. That is universe. The whole universe is yours. Come out and enjoy yourself. Your life is beautiful. Enjoy yourself and never think that there is only one place where you can live. There are lots of places. Adversities are actually the part of life. They will keep on coming, keep on going. Same thing applies to your happiness comes and goes. You know, same thing applies to the sadness comes and goes. So these things will keep on happening, but you have to find a way out that my Almighty has given me this life to enjoy myself, and I need not to ruin it by just simply thinking that my condition is not good. I have to adjust with the situation. But the people who will keep on making adjustments, they will not never ever, rise above anything. So what you have to simply do is simply you have to actually work hard on whatever skill that you have, and you will definitely get success if in case um, you have prepared your mind properly. So this is it for this class, and see you next time with a new topic, with a new subject, and with more energy. Uh, Thank you very much. Till then, bye bye. Good night. Good night here in Canada, and good morning or good afternoon in